So what's it all about? I mean, you get up in the morning, go to work. After work, you go home. You sleep, wake up, and then you do everything over again. You work hard for 40 years and, if you're lucky, get to enjoy a few years of retirement, and then your life is over. What's it all about? What use is all the hard work, day after day, the grind, the daily grind, day after day? What's it all about? Is it worth it? Is there any meaning to life? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today in today's episode of the Attic Fables podcast. We're gonna explore the meaning of life. Does life have any meaning? And if it does, what is it? What's the purpose of life? You know, the writer of Ecclesiastes, got to make this turn here before the light turns red. The writer of Ecclesiastes, he starts out his book saying, meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. Pretty pessimistic view. Is that really true? There's no meaning in life? Everything is simply meaningless? Well, one man who disagreed with the writer of Ecclesiastes, at least in his opening statement about how everything is meaningless. A man named Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl was an Austrian Jew during World War II, and the Nazis rounded him and his family up and threw him into a concentration camp. And while he was in these German concentration camps, his parents were murdered in the gas chambers, and his wife died in the camp, and Viktor Frankl himself, his health was permanently damaged during his time, and Viktor Frankl, he saw the suffering, he saw the senseless killing, the chaos, the inhumanity, and he wondered, what's it all about? What's life all about? Is there any meaning? Is there any real purpose in life? What's it all about? And in spite of the atrocities he witnessed, in spite of the senselessness of everything, he concluded that yes, there is meaning, but you have to make your own meaning. Some people call it existentialism. And so his conclusion was you make your own meaning, and the only way to have a fulfilling life, according to Viktor Frankl, the only way to have a truly meaningful and fulfilling life is to live for others. Don't live for yourself. His conclusion, as he looked at life and everything he saw, a lot of potholes here during this cold weather. The roads get tore up a lot. Anyways, his conclusion is that you make your own meaning, and the way to do that is not to live for yourself. You have to have a greater purpose. You have to have something larger than yourself. You have to live for others. You have to live for this greater purpose. And Frankl's not the first one to arrive at this idea. Jesus had a similar idea. You have to live for something other than yourself, greater purpose. Jesus said it like this: love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. That's the first and the greatest commandment. And he said the second commandment is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now look at this fool. There we go. He gave me some room there. Sometimes they cut me off as I'm going around the corner. Car comes up and they don't even want to wait a half a second. They just cut you off. That guy gave me room. That was nice. It's been so cold lately, I haven't been on the bike for over a week. It's been down in the 20s every day. Been having highs of 24. Today it's in the 40s, about 40, 41. Pretty nice today. Got to get on the bike, get out and ride. So Jesus said, can't you live for yourself? Got to have a greater purpose. And the most important purpose is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. And then he said, that's the greatest commandment. It's the first and the greatest commandment. And he said the second commandment is like it. The second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. Think about other people. Don't just think about yourself. Well, what about the writer of Ecclesiastes? Did he get it wrong? Why did he say meaningless, meaningless? Everything is meaningless. Everything is without value. He said our lives are simply like a puff of smoke, here today, gone tomorrow. And that's the end of it. Why was he so pessimistic? Well, he was looking at a life without God. But then at the end of his book, he said something much different. The writer of Ecclesiastes, at the end of his book, after searching through every possible means of finding happiness and fulfillment and meaning, his conclusion is that yes, we can be happy, we can be satisfied, we can find fulfillment, we can find meaning in life if we fear God and obey his commandments. So again, we're brought back to God. We're brought back to loving the Lord our God. Fear God and obey his commandments. And he said that's the path to happiness. That's the path to fulfillment. Road's a little wet here. It's not icy, just wet. So what do you think? What's your perspective on life? Is it meaningless? Are you still asking the question, what's it all about? Well, the only way to find fulfillment in life, the only way to have a purpose in life is to live for something greater than yourself, something bigger than yourself. The Apostle Paul said it like this. He said, don't be interested in yourself, be interested in other people. if we have a greater purpose in ourselves, first of all, God, and then other people, just trying to help others. That's what Viktor Frankl said. He said, if you live sacrificially for others, you'll find happiness and fulfillment. To live for others, that should be our goal in life. Not living selfishly for ourselves, but living for others. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the Attic Fables podcast. Until next time, remember, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've done, God loves you.